Hello, and we are online right now. My name is Steven, and welcome to Silly Questions. And this is the YouTube channel where I talk about Bitcoin and blockchain mostly, and mostly in Polish, but you can find some English content also in here. And today I've got two great guests, and because they are trying to revolutionize the VC market, if I can say, and they are the main managers of the Neufund, which is a German startup, which gonna make startups more liquid, probably. So my guest today is Zoe Adamovicz, who is a CEO of Neufund. Hello, Zoe.
Hello.
And Marcin Rudolf, who is CTO of Neufund. Hi.
Hi.
So, guys, before we start talking about Neufund, could you please tell us a few words about yourself and your background? But keep it short, like 1.5 minutes, and maybe tell us a few words about your story with the blockchain, with Bitcoin. Zoe.
Yeah, so we're both of Polish origin, and that's how we know each other. We've been working together for many years, and in the startup industry, one could say. This is our first strictly blockchain-based startup. So actually our story with blockchain, as in active participation in this community, is not very long. It's about a year old. But otherwise, we've had been cryptocurrency owners before. Yeah.
So how long you've been in Bitcoin, like in the cryptocurrency space?
As an active community participant?
Yeah.
A year, not very long.
How did you start being interested in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency?
Well, interested, I guess, everybody has been ever since it was born. Everybody who has any clue about technology, right? So interest is one thing, and active participation as a contribution and creating something is something different. We decided to start contributing when we decided to do Neufund. How that happened? Well, we are startup founders operating in the classical venture capital market. And we noticed that there is some inefficiencies in this market that we could fix if we applied the kind of ICO process to the innovation funding process that is typically happening in the VC, and making it even a little bit better. And that's how it started.
Okay, Marcin, how did you start your adventure with blockchain?
I mean, I was interested in blockchain as a technology I would say from the very start, yes, because it was one of the things that was really interesting. Besides, I would say, I don't know, artificial intelligence and this kind of stuff. So I was looking at this simply, yes, from the day it was more or less used by the nerds. Yes, not maybe from the day the Satoshi put the first version, but then from the day that it was let's say on Slashdot, for example, which is like a place when the people were looking for news if they were nerds in the past. Yes, so I was interested in that, and I was really studying how it works, owning the wallets really long time ago and so on. But I wasn't aware how big the social side of this is. Sometimes we had some news some Mt. Gox was hacked and so on. So, but that was that. Or I wasn't aware how big is the community behind that. Yes, because I was just interested in technology. So this started a year ago. I was really got some interest into that. In other chains like Ethereum, it was really interesting start. When you look at the background of this, this, I would say, libertarian philosophical background of all of this. Yeah, so
that's particularly interesting.
I would say it goes really from the both sides, technology and sociology in my case.
Okay, yeah, because you studied sociology and philosophy, right? Also.
Yes, yes. I mean, like, I would say so. I would say so, and it's really interesting how I mean, maybe not philosophy, yes, but the sociology, how useful it is when you, for example, design a system like a Neufund, yes, which is basically it's a system for people to interact in a way we want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So could you tell us more about Neufund, like what it is? For someone who does not understand, blockchain technology and smart contracts, like could you tell us, like, if I'm an investor, like, let me guess, I have like 200 Bitcoins and I want to invest. Is Neufund the place to invest, or I don't know?
Yes, this is a place to invest. Yes, because Neufund is something bigger than a fund. Yes, it's something bigger than a fund. It's a place, a platform where you can invest your assets, crypto assets, and I would say the fiat currency you can also use when you convert it to crypto assets. Yes, but then you can invest those assets into tokens. Yes, and the tokens that represent ownership. Yes, they represent ownership or they represent equity of existing businesses outside blockchain in the real world. So this is like a platform where you can do that. Yes, you can talk a lot about the value of the tokens. So this is the value of the tokens that is gonna be on our platform. It's equity. Yes, besides the other type of values you can have, like values for the network, when like Ethereum is a fuel for the smart contract. This is the value of the Ethereum token.
Because what we are doing, like in very kind of in essence, from the investor's point of view, is we are from the crypto investor's point of view, is today if you want to participate in an ICO, then all these projects that are doing ICO are kind of exclusive to blockchain, right? So the crypto community is investing in crypto projects. But there is no bridge in crypto community investing in other forms of technical innovation. Like the whole startup world is closed for you, right? I mean, you cannot really invest Bitcoins into Spotify, for example, right? Even if you really wanted to. And that's what we're opening, right? So for the crypto community, we're simply providing a better deal flow of interesting investment opportunities. We're able to take part of a company that really exists in the real world. And of course, we're interested in technical innovation because this is our background, right? So it will not be, I don't know, a shop. It will be a technological project. And we're able to offer part or whole of this project, as in shares of this real world company converted into tokens on chain to the crypto community investors in an ICO, kind of typical, more or less classical ICO process. Not completely classical, but something like an ICO process.
Okay, so Neufund would be like the Kickstarter for startups who want to make easy and quick ICO and engage some funds.
Kickstarter is probably not the right comparison, because Kickstarter is a pre-sale platform, right? No one is trading shares on Kickstarter. You can buy, if someone has an idea for a new, whatever,
it's like
for a new
eBay,
device.
yes?
It's pre-sale basically, right?
It's eBay. It's eBay for things that do not exist. Yes, so
you do not get shares. Yeah, exactly. You do not get shares in companies, and we're more comparable to a stock exchange in a way, right? Because it's companies and the share of these companies, and you're entitled not only to the product, like on Kickstarter, that you have paid for, but simply to the dividends or exit proceeds or whatever revenues the company is making as a token holder, i.e. shareholder.
Okay, so if I'm an investor, I log into my Neufund account and I can see my shares in companies I've invested in. I can sell them. I can request request a profit from this company, also receive it. So it's gonna be like a platform for investors to manage their shares in some startups.
It's one of the features, obviously. Yes. Yeah.
And if I'm a startup, like I want to make some smart cups and works with that has an app on my phone, like, and I want to get some funding, I can go to Neufund and say, oh, let's do an ICO, right? And use your smart contracts. Like you get like templates ready for startups to start their ICO.
Yes, I mean, it's gonna be you don't have to code in Solidity or any other smart contract language to use it. Basically, yes, it's when you have a proposal, and this proposal is discussed off chain first, yes, because it's very open process, yes. So the community of people that is gonna invest in you needs to know you first. So before it really goes in the smart contract, you should really convince people to invest first, yes, and then we formalize this.
Like in classical
let's say
ICOs
term
today,
sheet,
right?
yes, like a term sheet, yes. We formalize it in the form of a smart contract. Simply, this is like a smart contract is ideal for that. And from now on, it's really on-chain process, which means transparency of some degree, of course, and all the other things that come from using smart contracts.
Okay, so could you explain what's the difference between Neufund and the DAO, which was the big fail last year? Because the DAO worked quite similarly to the VC fund on smart contract. Like there was some money and there were proposals. And what is the difference, and how the investors can feel secure that your smart contracts won't be exploited?
All right. So there are, I would say there are two things in here. One is like a hack that happened, and the technical, let's say, competence. And the second one is a system design. Yes, and I'm gonna talk about the second one because the second one is that was the, let's say, a real issue with the DAO. Yes, that the DAO as a system wasn't designed properly to function. That's of course my opinion. People can have different opinions. So and I must say we learned a lot from that. Yes, I think the DAO was after all, it was a good thing because there's so much to learn from this on the level of a code, of course, and on the level of a system design and understanding what are the smart contracts, governance models, and what are really the smart contracts. Because this wrong way of thinking that the smart contract is a computer code. Smart contract is an interaction system for the people, yes, and the code is like a communication channel.
To the contract.
Yes, so yes. Okay, but let's go through what we learned from the DAO. Yes, the first thing is that our platform is a hybrid platform. Yes, on the one side you have smart contracts, on the other side you have legal contracts, normal contracts that are backing them. Yes, so if you have a VC fund called VC Fund Decentralized Organization that is created by the smart contract, on the other side of chain you have VC Fund Partnership, which is with the legal contract, German legal contract for the fund partnership, and they are bound together. Yes. So if you participate in our token sale and buy Neumark, you have all the rights of limited partner in the normal fund. Yes. So this is a huge difference. This is the first difference. The same for the startups. Yes. If you buy a token in the startup, even on the shapeshift, yes, let's say, yes, even if you buy it as a normal Ethereum address, and I don't know what could be other means of buying this. If you are simply an address to us, you have all the rights of the shareholder. You can vote.
The legal
yes,
shareholder.
You have. Yes, legally. Yes, not only in the smart contract sense, but in the legal sense. So this is the
smart
first.
Contract fails, we still have the legal backing.
Yes. Yeah. So the second thing is that our governance model is different. I mean, what we learned, I mean, not only from the DAO, is that direct democracy probably is not the best way to govern this kind of thing. Yes. So our governance model is different. It's
different.
Based on the liquid democracy concept. So you have elections, but the elections are continuous. So you can always withdraw your vote if you don't like your delegate and so on. On the other hand, we also delegate as a platform, as a people operating the platform, a few delegates from our side. Yes, so there is a committee that is making all the decisions, and in this committee you have people with their real names or nicknames, but they're known to the community, that are making this decision personally, and they are well compensated for that. So there is no slacking, because slacking, not making decisions and skipping the duties, is simply not in the interest of the delegate.
So,
yes,
yeah,
so we carefully designed the whole governance models with all the actors, incentives to really participate, and yeah, of course, this is still things that was never tried, I would say. Yes, so are still really curious how it's gonna develop, but I would say we have like a, I would say, grant or I would say fallback designed into the system that's gonna let us control it if the community doesn't participate, for example, at start.
Yeah, maybe it's also different from the DAO. We actually, we actually started from the classical VC model, right? So we're looking at, how venture capital firms are taking their decisions, what is incentivizing people, different roles in this, right? How is the due diligence process carried out? What is the partner's role? What is an LP's role, right? At which point it makes sense for them to participate and be active. And we simply took, there's of course various different models like that, for instance, how is the investment decision made, right? In some venture capital firms, it's the majority that decides, but in many venture capital firms, in Andreessen Horowitz, for instance, the most innovative one, one partner wanting to make the deal, even if everybody else objects, is enough, right? Because they believe that innovation and single decisions are better for edgy, innovation companies. So now we looked at these different processes, and then, together also with our investors who are professional VCs, we have designed it in a way that we think, we believe it works, and there is like an incentive, financial incentive for every actor participating in it. So things like not having enough quorum, for instance, should not happen to us, because it doesn't make any sense for anybody to not participate. And we made this model scalable, right? So, as different from a classical VC, we can imagine having, 10,000 partners, right? Not just few.
Okay, so
and millions of projects.
So, because I got two questions on my mind. First is that you're planning to do an ICO. So, and what's about that? Yeah, am I right? Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
So, yeah, if you are doing an ICO, you already got 2 million euros, right, of the investment. So this should keep you working for, I don't know, if you're cost efficient, I don't know, half of a year, maybe longer. But why do you need money from the ICO?
It's a different thing, because the money that we got right now is financing primarily the build out of the technology and our operations and things like this, right? Because we need to, have these Solidity coders, and they need to be paid a salary, right? So that's primarily what the money right now is going to be spent on. But then we also need money to invest in other projects, right? And you can imagine people wanting to make their own investment decisions and kind of decide in which startups they will invest, as they are deciding sometimes, what stocks they are buying on regular stock exchange, right? But also, as it happens in normal VC funds and also in many other funds, there's people who are giving money into the fund, and there's different managers who are managing these assets then, right? I don't know, like if you are a family office and you're representing a very rich guy, then maybe this guy doesn't want to decide himself what startup he invests in, because simply he has no idea, right? And he has millions of different investments, technology and non-technology, and he gives it to the experts. And that's what Sequoia Capital and Andreessen Horowitz are doing, right? They're taking other people's money and they are investing it for them, right? On stock exchange as well. And buying Neumark means that you are participating.
Neumark is the token from the ICO, right?
Exactly, yeah. So Neumark is going to be the token that we're going to issue in the ICO. And if you buy that, then you are participating in our total portfolio of investments. Not only in the startups that you have decided to invest in yourself, but in kind of all portfolio of our investments. So you are buying into the belief that the fund as a project, as a concept, is going to perform well.
So as an investor, I can on Neufund, I can manage my own stocks, my own tokens, and have also Neumarks, which represent the VC fund, which you're gonna manage, or some experts.
No,
right?
Well, us also, but together with the community, the smart contract part, right? So
I mean, like
of 10,000 general partners, then I'm only one of them in that case, right?
Okay, so if I'm the owner of Neumarks, I have a vote I can vote for some investments, for some proposals, right? Or I can delegate my vote to some board member or someone like this.
True.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, that's true.
Which makes sense, right? Because, like, why would you know if a biotech company makes sense for you as an investment, right? How would you know? I don't know, maybe you know a lot about biotech, but I don't know. You would rather want to maybe pass this vote on to someone who you believe is a biotech expert, right?
Yeah, but there's still this question about safety of the smart contract. Like let's say you're gonna collect some $50 million, and this is a huge honeypot. This is the rocket science. like blockchain is the rocket science. You can get screwed here like in minutes. You can lose all your money if you're not careful. Like, what's how can investor be sure that their funds will be safe in your pocket? Like, this is not your pocket because the money will be stored on the smart contracts, right?
And this is the question, yes, because I mean, and this is not because of even because of some kind of technical limitations. Yes, it's because how to store value. Yes, the question of storing the value, and I must admit it's a thing that you are really thinking about now, how to really do it. But it appears that Ethereum maybe is not the best way to store value for long term. Yes, it's not the best way to store investment assets. Yes, so we are thinking about something like a coin abstraction when the assets are stored in many different forms, and we have some coin that is used to represent this assets, yes, within the system. But anyway, we are probably gonna store money in some kind of cold wallets in many different crypto assets, if not in currencies, fiat currencies. But I think this is not in the plan. It's mostly crypto assets right now. Yeah. So I would say our value storage is not going to be in smart contract. I would really like to do this. Yes, I would really like a huge fan on this trust that you can get from the smart contract. The day we have like a stable coins on Ethereum with enough liquidity and other types of storing value, then of course we're gonna switch to this. Yes, until this is somehow available in the community, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is a project that we can actually use, and then I wanna be corrected. Yes, if someone knows something about that, then I wanna be corrected. But to my knowledge, nothing like this exists with the proper liquidity we need. We're gonna just develop our own system, yes, and store our money in cold wallets. So it's gonna be harder to hack.
Yeah.
Than the DAO. Yes, we can probably hack our smart contract, but we won't get to the money.
Yeah, but I mean, this is like I always kind of struggle with these kind of debates because, like your money can be lost. I mean, okay, blockchain is somehow famous primarily from the headlines because, someone has robbed this or that exchange, right? So kind of we created for ourselves, and it's a little bit our own fault, as a crypto community, like some kind of, atmosphere that we're insecure. I don't think this is true, right? Because, when I am investing in venture capital, it happens all the time that I today invest in a company that's a normal startup, and a week later, this company simply fails. And then, my investment, of course, wasn't secure, right? But whose fault is that, right? It can be the market's fault. In fact, it's my fault, right? Because, it is, just like, when you put your money into bonds, or if you decide whether should I store my assets in British pounds or in dollars or in euro, right? This is all of these systems, be it political systems, financial systems, are actually not really secure. And everyone is secure in this another way. And, you know, like all we can do is actually design as good system as possible and then be as transparent with it as possible, how this money is going to be stored. And then, of course, you know, we are taking money not only from the crypto community in the ICO, but also from like, you know, real institutions, right? That will look at our hands and will very carefully assess whether we are the right holders of the value. So we're going to make it as professional as possible. But in the end, you know, we can enter here into the debate whether our system is secure or not, and we should, right? But in fact, no system is 100% secure, ever, you know.
Okay. Sorry for those references to the DAO, but, you know, I think that this is the obvious you know, implication that the Neufund might be the new evolved form of the DAO, because you got smart contracts like constructed in a VC way with some other form of the management of the decision making, plus this this tokenization ICO, small ICOs. And could you tell me more about the ICO of yours? So if I buy Neumarks, I send Ether to the smart contract, I receive Neumarks like in the standard ICO, right? And this Ether from the smart contracts, gonna be invested in the next startup makers. Yeah. So is that's true?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so it's similar to the DAO, right?
Yeah, but we are waiting for some questions. Yes, that's true. That's true. And our car. This is what I said. We are still thinking what should be the crypto asset that we accept and how we store this value. Yes, that we gonna have in so-called investment pool. In and how it's gonna be controlled, but basically it is like that. Yes, we are. You send some, let's say, coins to us, to our smart contract, and you get a proof of ownership in this fund, like a proof of being an LP. Yes, limited partner in the fund, in form of a token. Yes, of tokens, and with these tokens, you are entitled to proceeds from investments and to voting in our governance system. Yes, so this is basically how it works. Yes, so of course, this is from that point of view, it is similar to the DAO. Yes, I mean the concept of the distributed organization is something that still is there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So
and there is, by the way, nothing wrong with this
concept,
right? So the concept might be very similar, and I think that the DAO, as in an idea, as a concept, was good, right? The question was the execution of this concept, execution of this idea, how it was implemented, right? How it is really working, and why with us the concept is the same. Our execution model is very different, completely different. So
we're gonna give you. Probably community is gonna give you the chance. You know, this. I'm not saying that this implementation is wrong.
No, but I also, you know, we
the
also
market's gonna decide.
Yeah.
I mean, we are
also
not
don't mind comparisons to the DAO. You know, like it's not offensive here, because the DAO, you know, it's as an idea, you know, of doing something like this was brilliant. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, and
I loved it. I loved it. Actually, I loved it.
Exactly, and
this is one of the reasons we are doing Neufund. Yes. It
was one of the inspirations. Exactly, we were toying with some idea like that, and when the DAO happened, we were like, oh, you know, it's great.
This really works, yes?
Definitely, yeah, it really works, actually. Yeah, the conclusion was that it works rather than it doesn't.
Okay,
people are willing to pool their resources, yes, in this way. This is great.
But so if we got this, okay, so the implication of making the new DAO in a new form are huge, I think, because there's a lot of things you are trying to do, because you want to connect on-chain with the off-chain, which is always the hardest part, I think, in my opinion. And the DAO made the DAO link, the foundation from Switzerland, if I remember correctly, and you are making the DAO fund foundation. Am I correct?
Partnership.
Partnership.
Let's say.
And
yes.
This is gonna be like the traditional instance of the Neufund on-chain, right? Like this is gonna be a legal instance of the things which happen on the on-chain.
Okay. Yes.
Right.
Yes. I mean, let's in a different words. Let's say you have an organization which is a VC fund, and this VC fund has two representations. One representation is on-chain, and it's called distributed organization. I don't know, Neufund distributed organization. The representation off-chain is a partnership, legal partnership, like which is running official fund recognized by all the authorities and so on. And then you should really look. This is very interesting and symmetrical situation, yes, because on one side you have a legal contract that creates some kind of organization, a partnership, a legal partnership, yes. On the other side, you have a smart contract that is creating another organization, and it's a distributed organization. But in fact, the contracts are the same, I would say, the same rules, the same people interacting, and so on, the same rights. So in fact, this is one, yes, and we are using like a legal system which is very similar to the system of smart contracts, really, on this level. So it is hard to bridge, but it is not impossible.
Okay, but this has some, I don't know, dramatic implications, I think, because okay, when I buy Neue Marks, like when I buy a token from the ICO, right? Do I have a share in the Neue Fund partnership?
You are a limited partner. Yeah, I would say
yes.
So I don't know how to explain. Yes, I would say yes, because you are a limited partner, so you are officially an investor.
So I got a crypto token called Neue Marks and Neue Mark, and I'm a shareholder in the Neue Fund partnership. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm entitled. So I can trade those marks to anyone in the world. Like I can sell it to the Kenyan who lives in a free house, and
it's not a new concept, you know. In the traditional financial world, there's plenty of funds, private equity funds, even VC funds, you know, who are listed on stock exchanges and tradable. So this is nothing.
Okay, so this is not named shares. It's a stock. I can sell it to anyone, right?
Well, it's a stock. Yeah, I mean, but you know, normal stock is also kind of entitled. Yeah, it's a share that is tradable. So so it's a stock in some way, and it entitles you to, you know, proceeds from whatever Neufund is doing. You know, if one of the startups we invested in makes, for example, an exit, let's imagine a super classical scenario, right? Then you, as a Neue Mark holder, are entitled to proceeds from this exit, from participation. On top of that, of course, you can also trade the coin, right? So, you know, people just like just like classically on a stock exchange, it might be that, let's say, the value of our portfolio today is lower than, you know, than the hope the investors see in our prospects, right? So they can say, okay, you know, looks like Neufund is performing super well, so it makes sense to buy some of Neumarks right now because we believe they're gonna grow. The same way you buy Bitcoin, you know. So this is like
is the supply of the Neumarks going to be limited?
Traditional, hey? What's that?
The supply of the Neumarks going to be limited to just one ICO, I don't know, a few millions of them, or you're going to make some new ICOs every year? Like,
we haven't decided yet. We haven't decided yet. We will see how this happens. It might be that we don't need to.
Yeah, I mean, but this decision this really belongs to the limited partners and of course to the managers of the fund. Yes, because
to the whole community.
I mean, I would refer everyone to our white paper. Yes, because this is a decision that they can make. yes, as a community of token holders. So they gonna decide at some point that it's time to recapitalize and run the fund.
Yeah. They may say it makes sense that we have our own money and we invest, or they can decide, you know what, it makes no sense. It's better it's just a platform. If the startups are doing it themselves and we don't participate, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and this is one thing that is different from the standard VC fund, which is closed after say, and then yes, we can in principle operate indefinitely. Yes, like a other kind of businesses. I don't know, like a I don't know, like a, some kind of factory or something like that. Yes, so there is no closing date for the fund.
Oh, so it's gonna be like the constant ICO? I can buy shares whatever I want,
No, not like that. Yes. No.
Printing money.
Yeah.
No, I mean like this market is going to be always open, and I can buy shares.
No. No, we're trying to do something that actually is sustainable. So no.
Okay. So the details of ICO is going to be released. Released on the first quarter of this year, right?
We will do the ICO somewhere in the next quarter, because there is a few things that we need to do before. Yeah, and when we release the details of it, we'll see. I guess the conversation starts already now, right? Whether the and we're really looking forward to some feedback from the community, how we can improve this model, and like a heated debate about the white paper, hopefully. And once we feel ready, we're gonna go through the ICO process.
Okay.
But it's next quarter probably. This quarter is too soon, I guess.
Okay. Let's get back to the startup point of view. Like, well, how doing an ICO within the Neufund will be better than doing an ICO on chain outside of the Neufund? Let's take like a real life example so it becomes tangible. How would you imagine Spotify doing an ICO today? You know Spotify, the music thing, right? Yeah, I know. Yeah. Like they can just copy and paste the code from the DAO and make an ICO. I don't know, maybe just like that, or take some time to take a few coders.
Yeah, and how would they? And they probably already today have about 100 different shareholders, and then they would have another thousands of shareholders. And how would that all work together?
So you think that Neufund might be the place for selling shares from the companies that are already at work? Like, if I have a company, I have some shareholders, I can make an ICO on Neufund and distribute shares between my shareholders, which are...
So what I'm trying to kind of show is that, like your question is of course correct, right? So in theory, everyone can just go ahead and do the ICO. But this is not an easy process, especially if you're not an on-chain only project, right? If you're a golem, right, or the DAO, and you basically operate on chain, then yes. But if you're a real company with real investors and real off-chain revenues, right, and creating this bridge.
Real. What is real? What does that mean? Right? What is real?
I'm just coming back from a VC conference where actually people call Bitcoin internet money versus real money. So that's why I have this jargon. But thanks so much.
Okay, because like, how is that paper more real than on-chain token?
I totally agree with you. Thank you for saying that. So so if you are a classical old school off-chain company with investors that are humans and notary process and real board of directors and things like that, then doing an ICO process is theoretically possible. It's theoretically possible for anybody, but it's not very easy. Right, and we're trying to provide all the services for companies like that to do that, even for those companies that not really understand coding or have no cryptocurrencies at all, or don't want to bother about how to store their assets or and so on.
And the legal side is not so easy. I mean, maybe for Spotify it could be possible to solve it, but I wouldn't say that they're gonna invest half a year in finding a legal form for this. Yes, yes, because you need to represent your shares as a tokens, and I would say our innovation is legal. Yes, not it's more important.
The core innovation is in the legal solution. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this might have some limitations, right? Does the company, I don't know, from Ukraine use a Neufund to kickstart their company?
If you convince the token holders, then yes, you can.
If they want.
If you convince the limited partners or token holders to invest, then yes, because there won't be a legal problem with this kind of investment. Yes, this is one of the things that we solve. So of course, you have less trust in for places that are simply not stable, like I don't know what is the current example, Somalia or something like that. Of course,
Ukraine.
Ukraine. I'm not really sure. I think this could be a.
Yeah, but Stepan, this is again kind of like a little bit of a philosophical question. I was just having like a great conversation with one of the world's biggest equity investment firms. They are like managing assets that are many times bigger than the whole value of the crypto assets existing, and like one of the things that they consider when they are investing is the stability of the market. And this is again the investors' decisions. Partners in this equity company decide whether they want to invest $10 billion in Ukraine, yes or no, right? And then there might be thousands of factors influencing it, and like no security system, and I think that no responsible company that is offering any kind of security, proposing security, investment security or technical security to its investors should promise 100% security. I cannot promise you a secure investment, right? It's the decision of the quorum of the investment managers, which is community including us, that decides whether the investment is good or not, including whether it's secure or not. And then, if our decision is wrong, then it's wrong. It's normal to have bad investment decisions as well, right? You can only secure it as much as possible, but you cannot foresee the future. Right?
I mean, so buying a token,
inventions, changes in geopolitical systems. One day Somalia might be the best country. America was the best country, and now it's not anymore from one day to another, right? India, what happened?
I mean, but we are providing you tools, yes. And if you buy a token of a Ukrainian startup, then you are as protected and entitled to the proceeds and so on as you would go there and sign a shareholder agreement, yes? Exactly. So of course we won't go beyond that. Of course we won't go beyond that, but we are providing you a framework to really do it at very, very low cost. I don't know, the buying a token costs you just some gas, yes, and some time. And this is your cost. You don't have to go and sign an agreement in Ukraine, yes, and you have the rights.
And I guess as different from the DAO hack, with us, if something like this happened in our system, then we could actually sue the guy, right? Because we are an ecosystem
based on the off-chain rules.
Based on the off-chain rules as well, exactly. Because we are kind of this bridge between.
Yeah, you can sue him, but he can win.
Well, but Putin can also invade Poland, and the whole electricity in the world can go down, and then Bitcoin is over. Even Bitcoin is over then, So.
Okay, so but I don't get it. Like how if Neufund gonna invest in some Ukraine startup or some, I don't know, maybe more exotic example like from Malaysia. I know, for example. Like, how can I be sure that this is the same as I would sign a shareholder agreement in Malaysia? Like, this is granted by blockchain, by on-chain contract, or off-chain contract?
This is granted by both.
Both.
Yes, because all the smart contracts that you sign with your private key, yes. Also has the legal part, like let's say the paper part that people sign, some kind of, let's say, representative, and then the founders of the startups sign a paper at some point in our system. This is explained in the white paper, by the way. But then, there is an agreement, and there are references for one to another. Like let's say you have a hash of this agreement stored with every token.
Go to Malaysia. Yeah, someone has to physically go to Malaysia and sign the agreement in the name of the shareholders.
No, I mean, like if Malaysia requires you to have a notary, then yeah, but
then
probably not. Yes, it is all the Commonwealth countries do not require a notary, and so you can do it like via. Yeah, but of course there are jurisdictions that are very stable, and then of course your risk is much less than jurisdictions like Somalia. I don't know if you can call it a jurisdiction at all. Malaysia is a solid country, by the way, so it's no problem with investing in there and having our agreements observed. But there are legal agreements, yes, and then if we have all the rights in this jurisdiction to enforce them. Of course, this means some costs, but it's much less than when you do it as a person, individual.
It's anyway a lot safer than just investing in any smart contract, you know. And how do you know that your investment is golem is safe? How do you know that? How do you know that they will not run away with the money tomorrow? They can. They totally can.
You know, token is always token, and even the legal agreement in the off-chain world, like this is always the representation of the promise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
This is it. Like
this is the definition of contract.
That's the definition of contract. Exactly. We promise to each other that we're going to deliver. Yeah, and then if somebody doesn't deliver, then you have different ways of execution. In smart contracts, execution might be automatic, as we know, right? But you know, sometimes it fails, as we know, right? And then it's good to have a fallback in the, you know, in the jurisdiction of chain. Yeah.
Okay, so that's probably all questions I got. Maybe we could discuss some details of the regulations and stuff like that. But I think
the white paper, because we want to have it like, you know, proper.
So you want to invite anyone to discuss your white paper, right?
Yeah, it's editable form somewhere, and you can write comments or change the text. Or there's a Slack channel for when we are like a.
So you're gonna crowdsource the white paper?
No, we've written white paper, but of course,
it's ready. Like a draft is ready, yes, and there's a very like a consistent proposal of doing this, but I can't be sure this is the best way, yes. And then people often have some input, yes, and then I'd like to be criticized, yes. We'd like to be criticized and really ask questions and so on, because this is, I really feel like we are doing something for the first time, and I think this is pretty like transparent that it was never tried. So every clever person that can look at the white paper is for us it's a huge win. Yes,
absolutely.
Every comment that is critical.
We published our white paper yesterday, and there is a Google Doc. It's about 30 pages document. It's pretty detailed description there, both technical and, you know, governance model and everything. So we'd love comments. I mean, we've already showed it to some people from the Ethereum community, and we got some first comments kind of before publishing. But we're totally looking forward to more. So please read it, Stepan, and go ahead. I count on you. This is my task for you. Read it. Please.
Okay, I've got one question that might be interesting, but also might be boring. We're gonna see. But this is the question about your perspective. How do you look at the blockchain as a whole? Like, what do you think? You're gonna build on the Ethereum chain, right? Is that true?
This is yes. We think that then this is the most mature community that now exists. Yes, that allows us to build this ecosystem. Yes, because we're gonna rely on some services. Yes, like the stable coins, some other means to store assets, for example, that's gonna happen on this chain. For example.
Okay, but
yes, yeah.
You know, but there was a lot of problems with Ethereum lately.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I don't know how investors can feel, secure, thinking that they can develop dApps on Ethereum. There's a constant, it's on constant attacks and stuff like that. Like, this is still an experiment, right? And the rootstock is on the corner. Just, in May, we're gonna have the open alpha. What do you think about that? About building
on the rootstock chain,
Neufund, on the rootstock.
On the side chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you consider that?
Yeah.
Like building on a Bitcoin blockchain?
I read let's say I don't think I can go from the technical perspective on this. I mean, it's. And what can I say? It's really too early. Yes, it's gonna be an alpha. Yes, it's not even no one tried this. I mean, to me this is less risk in going with Ethereum right now than with this. Of course, I'm It's a hard question, yes, because this is not a technical question. You have to somehow see what are the risks associated with given, let's say, project. Is it gonna develop or not? Yes, is it gonna be strong community around that or not, and so on. Yeah, it's hard to answer. Zoe, if you have any opinion.
I'm like always. I'm always. Again, there's always risk to what we do. Right? And by definition, when someone is participating in the blockchain cryptocurrencies community, this person is taking a lot of risk, right? Venture capital, that's why it's called venture. Venture means risk in English, right? It's innovation, technical innovation. Betting on the future is a risk, and but there is a big upside to this risk, right? So, you take a lot of risk, but also your win might be a lot larger. That's why we all invest in Bitcoin and not in Allianz stock, okay? So, if you're asking me, well, is there a risk that Ethereum is gonna, is gonna stop existing or have big problems or something, and therefore, our project is gonna be affected by it? Well, yes, if it happens, it's gonna be affected by it. We of course try to hedge it. So we're looking at rootstock and we're looking at, we imagine the scenario and wondering, okay, what would we do? And we have fallback plans. Is it going to kill us if Ethereum fails? No, it's not going to kill us in the current design. Is it going to be a hurdle and a problem? Yes, and then we're going to have to overcome it. Being in cryptocurrencies community and being in venture capital, we cannot promise 100% security because not even Allianz can promise, right? So these debates about risk are very philosophical.
I mean, I don't think the Ethereum is gonna collapse in
I don't believe it either.
Before our ICO, yes. So yeah, I mean,
just right after.
Yeah. So I'm just saying is that what we really need for our platform is it's some kind of smart contract platform where we can run our code and settle all the contracts and so on. The fallback scenario could be a private chain, yes, with all our LPs as a nodes in it and so on.
Exactly.
And currently, Ethereum gives us most of the. Of course, this is not as good as public chain because you have a network effect and easy trading and so on. But still, there are fallback scenarios that can protect us to some degree. Of course, we're gonna have some a kick in the ass, I would say, when Ethereum is gonna collapse. Or I really doubt that, by the way. We can still persist, yes, as a private chain, running some kind of smart contract platform for our investors, or switching to some other technology, yes.
Yeah. On the other hand, building private platform right now also wouldn't make much sense. If you look at the perspectives and the stability of existing chains. So Ethereum is the way to go for now.
Did you consider building it on some, I don't know, Hyperledger project like Fiber or Corda, something like this?
I mean, yes, we consider that. And why I really like all those platforms, yes, and I see the benefits of using them. what I really like about Ethereum is that the community is really is really active. Yes, it's really active. Maybe it's too active sometimes, yes, because people are doing the same thing in a different ways. From some perspective, wasting a lot of time on that, but still, it's still very dynamic. Yes, I don't see such movement around Rootstock, for example. Maybe I'm wrong. Yes, maybe I'm wrong, and then of course, maybe not yet. Yes, and yeah, but probably they're gonna. As Ethereum is also the biggest smart contract platform, and right now the only one that is worth considering right now. Yes, when you see what's right now, I would say the Rootstock is gonna put a lot of effort in easily, let's say, porting the Ethereum ecosystem or smart contracts into their sidechain. Yes,
yeah, they're gonna have
we're gonna have tools to migrate. Yes, if we're gonna have tools to migrate because there is a lot of things to migrate from Ethereum if it fails. Yes, probably then other people are gonna provide some tools for that. Yes, so I'm not so scared. Yes.
Yeah, you might be right, Stefan, in asking all these questions because, indeed, I'm saying, well, it's venture and it's crypto and so on. So but that's true that we are operating in a world that because it's so there's so many risks and so many levels, one needs to really watch one's back a lot more than any other enterprise. But we're used to that. We have done this for the past 20 years. So we're used to that. And let's see, if you don't try, then you don't get.
We're gonna see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Just learn while you go.
You see that? Dream every day. Dream every day. You see that? What's written here? Dream every day.
Yeah, I dream every day.
That's the thing, That's what you gotta
Sleep
do.
every day. That's a good advice. Yeah.
It's difficult to follow, but yeah. Especially if you trade cryptocurrencies, then you don't sleep every day.
Oh yeah, you may dream every day. Daydream.
Yeah, daydream. Yeah, it's like all these millions. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Would you like to sum up the conversation, or maybe point people at something? Maybe.
We'd like to point people to our white paper, of course, which is on the neufund.org, our website right now. And really go ahead and criticize us, kick us, kill us. Find all the loopholes you can find.
For free.
That's a good point.
Actually, when you read a white paper, you're gonna learn how you can make money as an individual that is helping Neufund, because there are mechanisms in the platform that can make you a lot of money. Exactly. Yes, so I would really suggest even to you to look at.
It's for sure better. It's for sure better to be. It's for sure better to be a Neufund, to be a stakeholder in Neufund than to be a Bitcoin miner. And make money on that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys. So thank you for the interview. We're gonna finish the transmission in a moment. Thank you for all the viewers. We got a few, and I hope you guys, the project's gonna develop and explode, and we're gonna talk in a year not about millions, but billions invested in Neufund.
And don't forget,
this would be cool, right?
Dream every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my wishes are, I wish you the best. I hope that Neufund's gonna deliver and it's gonna, be a gate for big institutional investors, not only crypto investors, but I hope you can widen the door to the broader audience. Yeah. So thank you very much for your time, and hope we're gonna see each other again soon.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.